portion about it being possibly what we call a signal 30 or an abduction. That should have been included in the ears broadcast, because that might have changed the response of the media, because when we just told you that homicide was coming out, none of the electronic media showed up. Times Union came out, but nobody else did.
And the abduction of a child would have actually elevated it as well, because that would have been important as well.
Well, yeah,
Right.
I mean, I would think so.
Right.
That's a decision that you guys make,
Right.
But I would certainly think so.
Right.
But my issue is with my people is, look, an ears broadcast is not a request for the media. If we need the media to assist us in a case by getting the information out to the public quickly, you don't do that through an ears broadcast. You do that through the PIO and a phone call. And that's where I think we may have dropped the ball, is they didn't do proper notification of the PIO, and they didn't do proper notification of staff up their chain of command on the Homeland Security side. And so, you know, having looked at some of the timelines now, that would have changed the response from the media, I suspect. I would hope, anyway. And that notification wasn't made. The PIO or the staff.
In these particular cases, seconds and minutes are very important, especially when you deal with an abduction.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't know what the outcome could have been had we gotten it out more quickly. Now, that's the notification to the media. The Amber Alert piece, look, that's completely different. That takes a while. On Amber Alerts, you can't put out what you suspect, you have to put out what you know. You have to know that there's an abduction, you have to know that that the person's in danger, you have to know that there's a suspect vehicle, you have to know, you know, a description of the suspect. So it takes a while to get through the investigation to determine all of those things.
And you're comfortable with the timeline there, because I think
The
they
timeline
requested
there, I'm
at
good
2:30, I think, about 3 hours in.
Right. And I'm fine with that. And then what delayed that even a little longer was between the original request, I think, and getting ready to, their call back to us, because they put it together and then they call us to kind of confirm that, okay, that's a good story. Well, when they called us back, at that time, we had just determined, you know, we said, hold on, we've got this guy identified already. And now, you know, we need to put all this additional information in there, because now we've got a photograph of him, we have a name, we have a vehicle description, well, not just a description, but we have a picture. So all of that changed, and then they went back and did their piece again, FPLE, and then came back. So that part I have no issue with. I have no issue with the way the officers have responded, handled this call. They did everything that could possibly have been done, except notify the public.
Any changes in policy as a result?
No, this isn't a policy problem. This is a performance problem. Somebody didn't follow protocol. Protocol's already in place.
Any reprimands?
Well, this is going to be going to internal now. Now that I know what I know about the timelines and who did what, knew what, when, yes, there will be an internal investigation.
Just so I'm clear, your concern is that there wasn't proper notification to the media spelling out exactly what the scenario was.
Correct. Well, or at least what we suspected the scenario was. At that time, we didn't know.
Right.
And you know, and I'm also going to find out, did somebody in the communications center make the decision? Well, they're saying possibly a signal 30. So since it's just possible, I'm not going to put that in there. I don't know what the decision-making process was yet, and that's what the internal investigation determined.
It was sad, though, wasn't it? The ultimate outcome.
These things are always terrible cases. You know, it is very sad, and you know, your heart goes out to the family, the officers that worked the case. You know, there was some phenomenal police work in this case. I mean, think about identifying an unknown suspect within a couple hours. There was some brilliant work done in this case, and then there was some lucky things too. The citizen that stepped up and called us when she saw the man on television, said, "Hey, I saw a man behind the church," and boom, you know.
And the officer who spotted the van on the interstate.
And the officer who responded to the van on the interstate, that was great police work, being observant, you know, literally left a couple crash victims there, said, I gotta go. I think that's the van we're looking for. So, look, there was a lot of good police work that was done. They performed stellar, but there was some lack of communication to the public because, and I think it all boils down to the fact that the PIO wasn't called out. Because that relationship with the public is the PIO's responsibility, and that's why we have protocols in place. When you have certain types of calls like these, even though it's just a possible, PIO should be notified.
As far as, I know there are random checks, you know, you guys go out and check to make sure these sex offenders are living where they're saying they're living.
Right.
When an officer goes out, are they looking for just the offender's presence, or do they kind of spot, like, you know, toys in the windshield, or?
No, they look
things like
around
that?
for things like that. You know, you look for, do they have stuff in the yard that might attract children, those sorts of things, particularly around the holidays and that sort of stuff. So, yes, they're looking for those sorts of things as well.
And I know JSO does the offender search, so if you have concerns, you can register to be notified if somebody moves into your neighborhood, correct?
Yes, and that's a great system because you can actually, and it's at www.jaxsheriff.org, and click on the offender watch. You can put in your address, and it will give you, I think it's a half mile or a 1 mile radius, any sexual predators or offenders that live within that area. And the beautiful thing about it is you can also put in your email address, and as soon as one registers with Duval County, boom, you've got it in 15 or 20 seconds. But, and here's the but, and I always qualify anytime I talk about this program, that offender watch program will not protect your children. It won't. It can't. It only gives you information that you have to then act on to keep your children safe. You got to know who they're with, where they're at, what they're doing. There's no program out there that's going to keep your children safe. That's the responsibility of the parent.
How often are those checks done, do you know?
Monthly.
Monthly.
Guys good?
Let me just make sure.
Leslie, that's predators, by the way.
Just predators, not.
Predators,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
predators.
Predators get the once a month check.
Once a month, physically offenders, I
And
think.
are they random checks, or where they know they're coming
No,
sometime
they
this
know they're
week,
coming.
or?
Well, they just show up.
We've got reports from neighbors saying, and if you can't answer this, I understand, but we've got some reports from neighbors saying that this guy, this recent suspect, had moved seats in his van, had toys in his car, and that neighbors reported that. Have you heard anything about that?
I think they reported that to us. Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm good.